Welcome to LSF Round 4. I don't have any opening remarks, so let's just jump straight into confessionals, which there are thankfully not that many of this time. Jolene Kirby said, "Hey guys, this isn't actually Jolene's confessional. This is me, Leah, talking straight from the heart of my own volition dressed as Jolene Confessional because I'm about to talk about it. I take everything I said about Jolene and its responses in my last video back. Jolene and its responses are very funny, and its tits are unbelievably massive, and its skeletonal structure is extremely feminine. If there is one person who will win Solar Flare, it's Jolene. That's all. On with the confessionals." A literal tree said, "Leah Solar Flare is a good twow. Twow. I like twow. Solar Flare twow. Twow. Twow Flare. I like to twow. Twow good. Leah twow. 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 I like twow. Solar twow. I like twow. Phase 2. Twow. Twow. 2 twow. Phase 2 twow." Clover said, "Leah, I challenge you to a rap battle. Please say your response in this video out loud or else you instantly forfeit." Leah Solar Flare, the name sounds real cute, but after this verse, you'll just be left mute. Forgot to balance phase 1 after hosting on a whim, and once I hit you with the buzz, you knew I'd always win. Not to mention your last twow heavy in twists, had to recycle it out of your active twow lists. In 500 characters, an act of cowardice, and I'll go just over to finish off this diss. You know what? You're on. Out of all the 25 I host, you clearly lag behind. My rounds at triple-digit numbers, you can't crack 40 half the time. While you taunt my cancellation, it's in speed where I excel, which while wrapped up 3 months ago. Season 5's finale? Well, I had Trojan as a regular. Your strongest player is Fred. And I know that I'm no saint, but you let status go to your head. Now I hate to bring up romance, but you know I bagged the best. Your 2-word limit turned out accurate, cause I've just left you speechless. Moving on. Cyclo said, "Okay, I think it's safe to send a longer confessional now. Hey everyone, I guess I was way too worrisome about surviving last round, but I always think what if about possibilities, even when chances are really small. Anyways, I'm not really good with word limit, so I'm sure of how well I'll do this phase, but I'm hoping I get through mostly smoothly. Good luck to my remaining 51 competitors." Don't Trust the Bushes said, "I'm in the mood to move to the left 3 feet, god damn it. I'm in the mood to slide to the right 100 feet, god damn it. I'm in the mood to fall down the steps 4 flights, god damn it. I'm in the mood to fly in the air 12 feet, motherfuck." Eternal Rose said, "Hey everyone, I, Leah, have a confession to make. I am not a human being, but instead a neural hive mind hoping to assimilate the entire TWOW community into my fold. It has already begun. Once you've joined 10 of my seasons, it's too late. Your verbal speech capabilities will begin deteriorating. You will start spending way more time on Discord, and you will find yourself with an undying loyalty to the one known as Leopard Sun. As proof that I'm doing this, I'm making this announcement through one of the first to join the hive mind, Eternal Rose. She assimilated, and soon, so shall you." Not a Donut said, "How will Leah read my confessional if I type it like this?" Suomi Namco said, "Aw man, nobody got my Deep.io response." Alright, that's all she wrote. How's about we jump into these juicy half-size results? I'd like to shine a bit of spotlight on everyone this round, without making results half an hour long. As such, I've decided to reveal everyone in groups of 4. As for this round's winner, without revealing too much, they absolutely dominated. 81% might not seem like a particularly high winning score, but you'll see what I mean in about 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, boom! Congrats to Arnub for the double victory! What a way to kick off the phase! Not to overlook our other podium members, Don't Trust the Bushes and Avocado also rose far above the pack. All of these top responses went mostly unscathed by the twist, and I'm especially a fan of DDDBs. It's definitely one of my personal favorite responses of the round. Before I move on to the next batch, I should mention that the red word in each response is the word H removed during voting. Hopefully that was already obvious. There are 2 prize spots left. Believe it or not, both of our remaining prizes were feeling unconfident about the responses this round. Guess it goes to show that sleep deprivation and public reviews ultimately don't mean that much after all, isn't that right, Adamantium Cyclo? These responses are both really funny spins on the prompts if you ask me, and much like the ones above, the twist didn't seem to hit them too hard. On the other hand, looks like Mindflex is back to his prize cooking ways from round 1. I would have made a dummy about his response idea if no contestants used it, but I'm glad you took that load off my shoulders, even if it didn't quite earn you a DRP. Dindragon, it's nice to see you make a comeback after scraping last phase. You were hovering around the upper spots for most of the round, but the final vote sealed your fate in 7th. Nothing to sneeze at if you ask me. By the way, in case you missed it, that was a nearly 5% jump between 3rd and 4th place. Here's our next set of placers. Clover was winning for a while early on, which surprised me considering how much H was able to butcher her top response's meaning. Without the censorship though, this joke is hilarious. It's probably my favorite response of the round. The rest of these responses are quite clever too. There's our favorite round 3 debuter and questionable qualifier, Sergeant Snivy. 2 of the most threatening players in the competition are here too, and it's pretty funny seeing my book side by side with TR's. I have to say, I was pretty proud of my dummy this round. By the way, TR, submitting a pun response was bold. And as much as H tried to sabotage you, it seems like it mostly paid off. Snivy was prizing for a bit early on too. I'm a bit sad that he fell so low, but I can see why it happened. The next slide contains a bunch of overly stressed out nerds. I hope you guys don't mind that description. I honestly think Sicto would have had a chance at a prize if his response hadn't been censored, and the rest of these all have pretty funny mental images. I love when responses have funny mental images. Wow, half of the screen right now is just DRPs. Aside from those though, Yowie and Tree round out this round's top 20. Tree's response was prizing for much of the round, but later votes struck it way down. I think the redacted word might have had something to do with it. Here's our next four. Repping the general greenish-tealish color palette, I see. Unfortunately, we're getting to the point where I don't have much to say about the responses themselves, so let's move on down. Time for the reveal of the last two players to make it into this round's qualifying zone. Coincidentally, they're sandwiched between two mediocre DRPs. Congrats to Ayan and Rapid for coming with a solid showing this time around. Luckily, the twist didn't hit you two as hard as it could have. Now that we've entered the reign of sub-50 scores and disappointing performances, I think it's time to flip over to the single-row leaderboard. I can't be here all day, after all. By the way, remember that, much like Phase 1, this set of rounds doesn't actually have any eliminations until round 6. So, even if you guys kinda flopped, don't feel too bad. Anyway, wow, I know I should have expected this after the culling of round 3, but there are some genuinely threatening players in the bottom half this time around. I especially like Tonia's and Pikamen's responses, but the twist really didn't do them in particular any favors. Other than that, Futbol low-key deserved to place this low for somehow writing an 111-character response to a 10-word round, whereas Kohaki's response was funny enough to make me spit out my acai-flavored water when I recorded it. Also of note is that Claire managed to achieve the highest standard deviation ever recorded in my hosting history, a staggering 43.44%. And hun, as much as I love you, did you really think referencing that response was a good idea? As for Otis, I'm not sure that man even noticed that the face changed. I know a single-digit score seems harsh, but 7-word haikus aren't gonna work for you this time around, buddy. Random happened to have the only DRP that truly flopped this round, and it was also the response that earned that snarky comment from H. And that's a wrap on results. I'll get you guys a stat update when I have the chance, but for now, it's time for me to say sayonara. See you all in round 5!